2023. It is 6 p.m. Unbeknownst to the clock up there who doesn't believe it's 6 p.m. Let it be known that all members of the council are present. Tonight, I'm going to ask for Council Member Olvera to lead the Pledge of Allegiance and Council Member Espinoza to lead us in an invocation.
Please stand. Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your head. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for this day that you've given us. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity that we have to try to do the business of the city of Shafter to the best of our ability. In everything we do, we look to your guidance from your Son, through Jesus Christ. And everyone says,
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, Council. We're going to look for a motion to approve the agenda. No changes.
No
correct?
changes, Mayor.
No changes on the agenda. I need a motion for approval, please.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Olvera, second by Councilmember Espinoza. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Kraut,
Yes.
Olvera,
Yes.
Espinoza,
Yes.
and Given.
Yes. Tonight, we're going to start off with two presentations. Our first one is for our Helen Putnam Award of Excellent Presentation. Now, I don't know who I'm handing this off to. Raj, is that you? Okay, I'm going to hand it off to you. All right, very good.
All right, good evening, Mayor and
Welcome.
Council. It's so nice to see you guys in your city, opposed to in Sacramento or a conference or a division meeting. So thank you for having me. I apologize for last month. I
Okay.
got a slight injury and so I couldn't make the drive. But I'm here today to present this wonderful award to the city of Shafter. And I mean, our division doesn't always get honored when all these projects and are submitted. So I was very, very happy to see that one of our cities were selected, and also a big congratulations from our division president, President Rudy Mendoza, who unfortunately couldn't come, as well as our Cal Cities board president, Dan Para, who has a council meeting tonight. So he couldn't come, but we were all working to sort of come together for it. So I think it's a great award. And so it's going to.
A collective group, yes.
Okay.
Come on. Come on, man. You got it. Now, oh, you need the presentation. Okay, you're gonna support out. We'll do it before. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Get in a nice.
Yes, now we'll get into a nice. Okay.
Okay, ready? 1, 2.
Oh, come on. Even you do.
I don't think you can take it out.
I know we had a little celebration about it last time. Again, thank you for the award. We're super grateful and honored. I know we stand up here and take the picture, but all kudos and everything goes to Dr. Franz and everything he's done. That was a vision that was put together years back, and it has found its way to what we see today as probably one of the most used spaces that we have in Shafter, let alone the county. So thank you for being here and presenting it. David, thank you for you and your staff and everything you guys continue to do. The events and the community support, we just can't thank you guys enough. So thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that same thing, David. Thank you for all your hard work and your staff and all the hard work that's gone into the library. It's unbelievable. If you haven't seen it, you need to go take a look at it. Thank you for all your hard work.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, huh, David? But we are very, very happy that we get this recognition. And like you said, it doesn't usually happen here in the Valley. And we're really quite proud of what we've done as well as being able to share it with so many others. So thank you.
I just want to say congratulations to everybody behind the scenes and everybody that took part and made this possible. And I think it was something awesome. And this is great. Good beginning.
Yeah.
So congratulations, City of Shafter and the Learning Center as well.
Ditto to everybody. Congratulations, sir. You and your staff to all the great work that you guys have been doing and continue to do. Thank you.
All right, very good. We are going to move on to our second presentation of the evening. It is the introduction. Now, listen, Ravi, where are you? I'm going to butcher the last name, so I'm going to try and let's see what happens.
Now give
all right?
us a lesson.
Yeah, you're going to have to give us a lesson on this. So Ravi is our new city engineer. Ravi, I'm going to say this. Hudapede? Was I close?
No, give it to us.
What is the? Don't say close. I want to know the real.
It's Pudipedi.
Oh,
Would it
that was
be
really
Yeah.
Pedi?
Pedi.
Pedi,
All
okay.
right.
Because we had a fellow named Ituridia, and not everybody could say it either.
Really, yeah.
He was Basque, so yeah, we had to learn his name.
Well, welcome to the city of Shafter. We've met a little ways back on your oath of office, but tell us a little bit about yourself and welcome to the family.
Good evening, council members, and good evening, Mayor Givens. I come from, city of Bakersfield with almost closing to 19 years of experience in civil engineering, and graduated with a bachelor's in civil engineering from India, and moved to United States to pursue master's, and finished master's in civil engineering from Michigan State University in 2005 or 2004 December. And since 2005 January, I've been working in Los Angeles, and then as worked as a sub-consultant to City of Bakersfield. Then joined the City of Bakersfield in 2017. Worked there on major infrastructure projects for 58 and 99 interchange. I've been there for six and a half years before coming to Shafter. So I'm really happy to be here, and I really appreciate the opportunity that Mike has given me and Gabriel has given me in joining the city and taking over as a city engineer. So I'm looking forward to it.
Now you told me you were looking to get your surveyor's license, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so you are beyond just civil engineering. What are the other stamps you're carrying?
I have a traffic engineer's license in the
Yeah.
state of California, and then pursuing to take the PLS. I've taken around 6 courses with College of Canyon to get used to what the legalities in surveying are
Mm-hmm.
in the United States. So yeah, it's little steps
Yeah.
Towards the license.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Welcome, Robbie.
Yeah, good move, Mike. Yeah.
Appreciate that. I'm a little paranoid to say his last name now. But I just wanted to point out that, as you know, City Engineer Kevin Harmon is retiring after 30 years of service with the city. His last day with us will be November 16th. Hope the council members and city staff will celebrate Kevin's career on November 16th at 12, I believe. Robbie actually started with us about a month ago. And so he's utilizing the time he has with Kevin to be as prepared as possible for when he assumes the position on November 17th. So as Robbie pointed out, he's a licensed civil and traffic engineer working to become a land surveyor, which will hopefully expand and diversify the services we can provide in-house at some point. In the coming months, we anticipate he'll be focused on developing new traffic circulation plans, preparing special traffic studies for local streets, and overseeing improvement plans for private development. So we're very excited to have him on board, and we're very pleased to introduce him to you tonight.
Appreciate that. Thank you again. Thank you. All right, folks, we are going to move on to our public comment time. Public comment is meant for anyone to speak on any item included on the agenda or on any matter within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council. We are asking you to come to the podium. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes unless additional time is needed for translation. Please state your name and address for the record before making your presentation. Public comment time is open. You're almost there.
Hello, everyone. Mayor Chad Gibbons. Thanks. My name is Daniel Burciaga. I live over at 242 Walnut Street. Been here for about 15 years. Made a big move from Buttonwillow, so. But we're here to, I have one of my board members here as well, to share with you guys, we plan on bringing, or it's exciting news, a Little League program to Shafter.
A what?
A Little League program.
A Little League, okay.
Baseball and softball. We'll be going after ages 8 to 12 for both sides, hoping to have 16 teams. Little League is just a little bit more structured differently. We're hoping to have actually offer an all-star program where our neighbors are involved in it. Wasco's in it, Arvin's in it, Delano, Greenfield, and giving our kids a chance to kind of participate in that type of stuff. Do a little bit of travel, but within reason, not a long drive somewhere for a game and then a long drive back. It's just within the, half a tank of gas, quarter tank of gas, there and back. But we're excited to offer it, to get it going. But our tax stuff is done. Our charting is finished up because we got to do boundaries. So we're working with Wasco and Greenfield at the moment for our boundaries. So it's pretty much done, but we will need a little bit of help as far as facilities with the new fields that you guys got going. We've talked to the Brawlers and the Bombers, and they're very open to helping us out so we could have our season. Our season will go for maybe 6 or 7 weeks, and then what we talk to them is kind of getting out of their way and letting them do their thing as far as a travel ball. But if you guys have any questions, we're more than happy to answer. It's going to be an exciting program for the kids.
So when's the startup time? What's your plan?
April next year. That's when the season.
Those fields won't be ready then.
So
Startup is in April,
yeah, the season. Yeah, next April.
ends in June.
Yeah, ends in about June. Yeah, we'll be done in June.
So you've already arranged for fields to start in April?
We're here to talk to you guys about that. So if they're available, we could do something. But we've also talked to. We're pretty flexible. We kind of. What we've adopted is we're going to use what we have rather than what could happen or but what we do have at the moment. We've talked to, I forget which church it is, that they have a field there, a softball field that they're going to allow us to get onto. And if we got to have games there, we could have games there. Also, the Rodriguez Park, if that's available, the kids, they could play on it. They could play.
Yeah, we did years ago too. So
Yeah.
that's a good area.
Yeah, so, and I think even having things at Rodriguez Park would be fun. It just gives it a different view, a different environment, really. So it's gonna be a lot of fun for the neighborhood. Also, we could, if we have to, we could work with Wasco to where we could have games over there. We could have games in Buttonwillow. For a minimum for the All-Stars, we gotta have at least 8 games for our Major League Division.
You said you talked to what groups?
The Brawlers and the Bombers.
Brawlers?
Yeah,
What's the
Caesar
Brawlers?
and Chris Espinoza. We talked to both of them. I started this back in August, kind of, letting them know what was going on, what their thoughts were, suggestions, and also actually talked to Caesar last night. And he suggested that they would do a camp for us, for our girls, for softball. I think it'd be good for the girls, just the younger ones to play with the older ones, they kind of train them and work with them a little bit, someone to look up to. But I think it's just gonna be a really good program for the kids, and that experience of the camp would be fun for the kids too.
So,
you-
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So your group would actually be a feeder for Caesar's group?
Oh, no.
No. Oh,
No,
oh.
no, we're just our own program, but it's also gives these kids that might fall in love with the sport, that like the sport, that want to continue playing the sport, they could possibly go play for the Brawlers or even any
Right,
other team or the
right.
Bombers, if they just decide this is their sport, there's a way for them to do it.
Okay, like still a feeder process. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like you just crossed the boundary lines, right? So they're not 93263. It's You're taking in the 8-0 as well as the, I don't even know. what
No,
Greenfield-
so for our boundaries, it's just gonna be Shafter and Buttonwillow. Those are our boundaries,
Not Wasco.
not Wasco.
Oh.
Wasco is just within the Little League realm. So we're in their district. So there's boundaries. We're District 61 and we all have our own boundaries of what we could, the kids that could come play for us.
What caused you to do this? You have family involved in it? You have?
Well, I ran the Little League program in Buttonwillow for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
And then when SYB, I don't know if you guys recall SYB, they started out underneath my Little League program in Buttonwillow. And then they had their own charter here in Shafter. And they had good success with it. You know, they're the older kids mostly. And then that softball program, the softball girls all-star actually won the district. And they got invited to go play in San Bernardino for the state tournament. But money was an issue at the time, and so they weren't able to do it. But we plan to be a little bit more prepared for them just in case we do have our kids have that opportunity. We want to be able to get them there.
No, I commend you for that, you know. Sports are important for everybody
Mhm.
and it involves the families and that's what we're looking for.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're finding out different ways we could save money. You know, we're definitely aware of the situation we're in. We're basically, the board that we put together, the volunteers that we have, we know that we have a task to go out there and try and raise as much money as we can, keep costs down as much as we can for parents. And, cause I have 3 kids myself and cleats, belts, all that stuff adds up and it, you know, so it gets out there, but we want to do our best to kind of keep prices down for everybody in the area and get as many kids to participate as we can.
I don't know who, yeah, I'm looking, you're getting ready to run. I don't know who to refer him to on staff level. Would that be Mike's crew?
Yeah, for now it'd be our public works director. Just by way of background, because we are getting a lot more interest on the fields, something
Mhm.
you'll see in the near future is going to be a use policy to make
Right.
it fair and equitable to all the different teams.
Yeah.
So your timing couldn't have been better, just to be able to make sure that we know we have another league coming in.
Mm.
And so we'll be bringing that back to you.
Yeah, we used to have just strictly, well, you probably even knew that. You probably grew up in that same time, but
Oh,
we
yeah.
had just rec district that took care of it, but it was through the city.
Mhm. Okay,
And now they're separate, so, yeah,
okay.
but they're pretty well,
Did-
they've expanded enough.
I may have known you for a while. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
Did Rec take care of Babe Ruth when we were
No,
doing
that
it?
was the Medinas. When we were in Babe Ruth, the Medinas
Ah.
ran it for lots and lots of
Yeah,
years.
Okay,
see, they were
okay.
individuals.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
It was a little ways back.
Yeah,
so
because
that's why I was
there's
asking.
days we'd show up and chalk our lines and drag our fields by
Yeah.
ourselves, you know, so. But, you know, we kept the league going for as long as we can when Babe Ruth was going. Even we were playing in Porterville at one point. We were in senior Babe Ruth, but we'd show up there, we wouldn't have a coach, but whoever's oldest would make the lineup and we'd be out
Yeah.
there and play and make our way back to Shafter. And so there was a lot of baseball going on at one point. It was a really good time.
Yeah, if there's a way you guys can just get connected, whether it's you or someone on your staff,
Be Mike.
Mike, then that way you guys can start trying to work that out.
Awesome. Really
Perfect.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good luck. It's never easy, but good luck.
No, it'll go.
If you need some money, there's the Rotary Club.
Yes,
Look
right.
at
That's right. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be around to hit us all, right?
See what you did there. That was good. That was
That's
good.
right.
Thank you. Any other council announcements? Oh, no, I'm sorry. See, you got me all messed up now. Any other public comments? Any other public comments?
I don't guarantee a winner, but
All right. All those notes. All right. Anything online? Gilbert, that was good. I appreciate the humor in that.
no.
I needed that for the moment. All right. Public comment time is closed. Council announcements and reports. I'm going to look to you, Councilmember Espinoza, to get us started.
I got a couple of things I want to announce. First of all, the Shafter branding project. This is a good opportunity for those people that have a good idea that would like to bring it forth and have it recognized. So I'd just like to welcome everyone to take that survey and to participate in that. The candy in the courtyard, I saw the pictures and I wasn't able to make it, but I'm glad there was a nice turnout. David, just once again, congratulations on the Helen Putnam Award. That's huge. And I can hardly wait to see which next award comes up. On the 18th, I attended the Principal's Partner Day at the high school, and Shafter High School is a very exciting place. A lot of things going on, a lot of programs going on. A lot of academic heights are being reached there by some of the students that shared some of their success. I didn't get to make the rail day at the Chapter Museum, but I am gonna make some time out to go check out that caboose car. On the 30th, I attended the oath of office for the two new police officers, Christian, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right,
Saheda, isn't it Saheda? Cejudo?
Cejudo, and Simon Otero. I'd like to welcome them to the Shafter Police Department, the city of Shafter. I also did attend the Day of the Dead at the Shafter Library Learning Center. And it was nice to see the big turnout, a lot of people celebrating there. And some of the costumes and some of the artwork was pretty unique. I really enjoyed that. I also saw the excitement on the skateboard park. There was little stickers all over the pictures. I couldn't even tell what the pictures were, but I was thinking I put one sticker on there because I thought this many people voted for it. I can't go wrong. So I put one on there. On the weekend, I attended Wings and Wheels out at the Shafter Airport, and it was a great car show, a lot of unique, different vehicles, airplanes, old farming equipment. So I really enjoyed that. And the last thing I wanted to bring up was with the courtesy notice going out for the alley cleanups, I spoke with the director of the Shafter Commanders, Fortino Valdivia, and if there's someone that needs some help cleaning up their alleyways, they can call. I have a phone number. They can call the Commanders Youth Football League, and we'll bring a group of kids out and do the cleanup and everything, and then you can just make a donation towards the program. So if you'd like to participate in that, or if there's someone that needs some help cleaning up their back alleys, I have a phone number here, 661-337-9568. So just feel free to, I could pass the number on to the city clerk, and feel free to call, and they'll come by and help you with the cleanup. And that's all I have.
I'll be brief. I attended the Dia de los Muertos event. Dr. Franz, I think it was a huge success. Thank you and your staff for putting it together. I think you guys did a great job. Artwork was great. It was very challenging to judge them. There was a lot of ones that the kids did a really good job on those. The dancers, they did a good job too, performing. I think that was a really good event, but I think it was a huge success, and I look forward to having that, or for you guys putting together future events like that for the community. Thank you.
Mr. Alvarado.
No, I just want to say, I did visit, or actually I participated in the Principal Partners Day at the Shafter High School, which was it's always fun to go to those because you meet and greet, and sometimes you just catch up with some old friends. And so that was actually a good turnout. Also, we had the trunk or treat at the court house parking lot on the 26th, and that was pretty successful. We had over 700. We estimate about over 700 folks that participated. And then I did go to the Shafter Wasco football game, and congratulations again. As you know, we have a game tomorrow, but congratulations to the football of Shafter High for winning the Tigers for sure, right? And so also November 2nd, Dia de Muertos, I actually thought it was Dia de Niños. It wasn't, I sort of got confused. So I was under the impression it was a Nino one, not the oh, that's in the string. Okay. So, but yeah, it was my first time at this event, and it was going to be my first time on the Nino one too. I thought it was a Nino one, but so Irene and Dave, thank you very much for putting that out. The community really enjoyed that. And it was the skate park, part of the skate park. Mr. Gonzalez was handling the skate park. It was good to see that coming up and people participating, and also the murals of the I don't know what kind of art that is, but that special art. Okay, that special one. So there were some good drawings there. What was it called? Yes, interactive mural. Those are pretty cool. I think they're really nice. And it was up to me. I'll definitely put 2 of them for sure, if I could, but we'll see. And then also just a quick reminder that December 1st, Friday, we have the Christmas parade and it's gonna be at the Menlo Park, around Menlo Park. And also that's the activities inside Menlo Park and then the Christmas parade at 6:30. And that's it. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, sir. Okay, I did attend the Principal Partner Day and one thing that really stood out for me is I noticed a very different and diverse group that attended that was invited and the comments that they had about the campus, the staff, the students that really reflect in a positive way for our city. And that really stood out for me. And I think everybody needs to realize that the students were outstanding, but just everyone that was there really showed a positive feeling for what we have going on here. Also, I did attend the Depot Museum and I did miss you there because I was sure you were going to be there for the ribbon cutting for this new caboose. And the caboose is, I never got, did they buy it? Did we buy it or did they give it to us? It comes from Terabella. The fellow,
I think it was a
Given,
donation
yeah, I thought
to
it was
it,
too.
but there was a lot of work to put it towards.
yeah, but it's really pretty neat. It's just almost the original, but it dates back into the early 1900s, 1930s, 40s, which is really a pretty neat thing for us to have. We're fortunate that we have Stan Wilson as well as everyone that helps on the Depot Museum because they continue to build the history of what we have here. Also, I'm kind of out of order here, but on October the 25th is the Shafter High Bonfire, which really was a big hit. And, we owe a lot to Chad because I know he's, excuse me, promoted this event, especially since it wasn't held during the COVID years and pulled off a really nice, just couldn't have been planned any better. I
Well, the
mean,
wind could have stopped a little bit.
well,
more.
but I think, no, it's okay too. It really claimed the bonfire was really going and it was really pretty exciting. And people in their cars, people in around the area, it just was outstanding and very positive remark for us again. On the 30th, we did have the two cadets that came in and graduated, and we welcomed them to our Shafter Police Force. Also, the Candy in the Courtyard was the second year, and that was another event. Started at 2:00, went till 5 before you could go over to the Mantle Park. But families came with their little kids, and I believe everybody was in costume, which says a lot. They really came to participate. But don't forget our employees, each department was out there and really did shine very well. And I think it's excellent to note the fact that everyone participated and it was very, very positive. The Halloween downtown display seemed to be a hit. Anytime you went by, there were people taking pictures. Even today, after we finished the Thanksgiving display, this fella comes through and he's got a stroller and the little guy jumps out and he runs up there and he can't wait to get his picture taken. The time that we put into it and the small cost that it is has really been rewarding to see the community respond to it. I did attend a colors meeting again. We'll be meeting now pretty soon in every couple of weeks because the due date is coming up pretty fast, so February the 22nd to the 25th. Just different ways of expressing heart in all ages. And then of course, Dia de Muertos was outstanding. The turnout was good. The booths were good. The food was good. The dancers. I mean, I didn't know you were going to have dancers, and the dancers, were they from Wasco? Yeah, that's what I heard. And they were outstanding. Did they offer to come or did you? Yeah, they were out. I know they were really nice. Their costumes were good, but just the sound and just the participation, it was really, really good. It was excellent. So it was a highlight at the end. Yeah. So, but you can see we've all had a pretty busy time, but positive things happening in the city, but we need to see and have more volunteers, which goes back to what Daniel was saying. They're going to need volunteers to be successful even in that area. And so we support you in that. So yeah, the city will respond to you. Besides Rotary, we got Lions, we got Kiwanis, we got Women's Club. Oh yeah, yes. So welcome. Thank you.
Captain, thank you very much for showing up in your true blue and gold to the bonfire and representing Shafter and not Wasco. I appreciate that very much.
No, not at the bonfire. No, you couldn't go to the other side there, huh?
No, he wasn't allowed to, wasn't allowed to. I actually want to give a big thank you to a few folks, but Captain, thank you very much because you kind of jumped in and helped me try to get some stuff situated. And albeit those things didn't happen, better things happened because of it. But you were very responsive. Your team was great. And I just want to say thank you, and thank you even for the game. I talked to staff afterwards and no one had any issues. I mean, everything went really smooth. And
There's
just
a
a
lot.
big testament to, I think, our citizens, the people we have, your team being out there. I love seeing the Shafter police out and just people I don't feel like anyone's interacting in a bad manner. It's just a lot of that positiveness that's happening. And so very appreciative of that. Also to Kern County Fire. I may or may not have pushed a little hard in a very quick manner to get some things done. And everyone at Kern County Fire, including Erica, which I've said thank you, I'll say it again to her, have been nothing short but spectacular in coming out and getting some stuff situated. So huge thank you to our EMS services throughout the town, throughout the county. It was a really positive few weeks. Crazy few weeks nonetheless, but positive to say the least. Lions Club, I think you had more than 700. There's no way you had less than 1,000. That line lasted for like an hour. It was forever. And I know Randy was complaining that he was not going to get to eat any candy afterwards because he had ran out. And you know what? It was fantastic. So between that and then what Kiwanis have done for the Harvest Festival at the park on the 31st, some churches have gotten involved. There was just so much going on the last few weeks. And I think it probably more than anything else, it warms my heart to watch as community comes together. That's what community is built on, is the foundation is family. And when you see families out there dressed up together, when you see them having fun together, when you see people being positive about that family, I've known Daniel most of my life and we've played baseball together. And when I get to see him coming out there, family getting together, creating Little League programs, that's really what we're about. So more than anything else, more than the success of the events, more than the success of a football team, it's the success of watching how people are coming together and collectively being one unit, one family for one purpose. And that just makes us better all together. So big thank you just to everyone and the effort that you continue to put in. I did want to say the decorations downtown were awesome.
Yeah.
Did you get new ones?
No, we just kind of arrange them differently, but you just kind of add to it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. We had a lot of positive on that.
And it's fun to see the people and how they respond to it.
Now, my craziness, I'm gonna look at Rachel, and I've told her this too. My craziness is I'd like to see us get and Mike, I'd like to see us get the garland back for Christmas and just kind of go crazy. Christmas is a great time of the year. So
No, this was not just fun. You can't have the polls.
everybody could come together and make this one happen. But from the first Friday events that we've had and the community support, we've used that downtown area quite a bit. I love watching that stuff get used. I love people interacting with it. I'll drive down there and see families taking photos and just absolutely love it. So for me, the more we can do, I think the better off we are, because you just make that connection happen with families. Again, a lot has happened. Very thankful for all the groups. To your note and Pete's note as well, if you get a chance and you haven't went by either the Green Hotel or the Depot or Minter Airfield, I really, really, really urge you to do that. Get an understanding of who we are, the background of the city. You may find things in there that you just didn't know existed and might surprise you. And you get a chance to meet some really great people. So if you get a chance, go out and do that. I'm not positive when all of it's open, but the signs are posted and they'll let you know. Okay. A lot has happened. With that, we're going to move into consent calendar. I'm going to try to highlight these things. There are 16 on the list tonight, so bear with us. Number 1, approve general checks. Number 2, approve payroll. Number 3, approve overtime report. Number 4, approving minutes. Number 5, ratify the veto letter on behalf of the Shafter City Council for Assembly Bill 504. Number 6, ratify the veto letter on behalf of the Shafter City Council for Assembly Bill 1484. Number 7, ratify the veto letter on behalf of the Shafter City Council for Senate Bill 799. Number 8, approve the annual service contract payment for aerial image services invoiced by Near Map US Incorporated. They are $25,000 a year. It's a 3-year invoice. Number 9, accept the public improvements completed for the Central Valley Highway Lift Station and authorize the Deputy Public Works Director to file a notice of completion and acceptance of work. Number 10, accept the public improvements completed for the 2022 Pozo Street and Storm Drain Improvement Project, which still is very nice, Alex, and authorize the Deputy Public Works Director to file a notice of completion and acceptance of work. Number 11, accept the public improvements completed for the Lerdo Highway Reconstruction Project between Valley Street and Shafter Avenue. And once again, authorize the Deputy Public Works Director to issue a notice of completion and acceptance of work. Number 12, accept public improvements completed with the 2023 Santa Fe shoulder improvements from Los Angeles Avenue to Galpin Street. Again, authorizing the city engineer to file a notice of completion and acceptance of work. Number 13, approve the purchase of mobile radios for Public Works field crews to SC Communications Incorporated for a total cost of $13,157.23. Number 14, accept 2 cost proposals for the waterline replacement, approving 1 proposal submitted by JM Pipeline Construction for an amount of $72,000. Number 15, approve a professional services contract award to Roland Van de Valk for providing land surveyor services for an amount not to exceed $25,000. Last but certainly not least, number 16, accept bids received for the roof repair at the Shafter Pistol Range classroom building and approve 1 bid from SL Payne Construction in the amount of $22,110.81 with a not to exceed of $30,000. There's a lot there. I need a motion for approval in a second, as long as nothing is wanting to be pulled.
I move approve.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Prout, a second by Councilmember Olvera. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado?
Yes.
Prout?
Yes.
Olvera?
Yes.
Espinoza?
Yes.
And Givens.
Yes. Very good. Tonight, we'll be moving on to our public hearings. We have 1 item on public hearing. The item is introduced for first reading by title only and waive reading of ordinance number 750, approving and adopting execution of a First Amendment to develop agreement number 21-20 for tentative tract number 6490.
So, Mayor and Council, this is a planning matter being brought to you, and our planning manager will make the presentation related to one of the infill projects, tentatively planned for the core city. So,
Yes, Honorable Mayor and Council, this item is the introduction of a first read by title only and waiving the first read of a amendment number 1 to Development Agreement 21-20 for tentative tract 6490. This is the tract that is located in the southeast corner of East Ash Avenue and South Mantle Avenue in the southern core of Shafter. We refer to it as the Ball Fans tract. It's the one that is just west of Santa Fe and near the Omni Health, the existing Omni Health building. It's one that has been sort of the roads have started to be built, and then it just kind of stopped for a little bit. That is due to another reason, mostly related to getting a transformer from PG&E, which would happen later this year, and then there would be development occurring. But in the interim, the owner, Mr. Ballfans, has asked that there be an amendment to the existing development agreement that was recorded on April 13th of 2022 between the city and owner. The development agreement guides the development of tract 6490. And the owner is requesting an amendment to change the minimum dwellings unit size in the development agreement from 1,600 square feet minimum to a 1,440 square foot minimum for the dwelling units. They also would requesting a change in the average dwelling unit size of this tract from 1,800 square feet to 1,600 square feet. And then based on those changes, they have revised 4 house plans that were previously approved in the development agreement. Staff believes that the amendment is beneficial by providing a more affordable housing product while not reducing the total number of units. The lots are not going to change. It's simply the size of the homes on the lots themselves. And it would also not sacrifice quality of the actual homes that are to be built. And with that, staff recommends that you conduct a hearing and introduce for first reading by title only and waive reading of ordinance, and waive reading of ordinance 715 and ordinance of the city council approving and adopting execution of a first amendment to development agreement 21-20 for tentative track 6490. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. The public comment time is open for track number 6490. If you have public comment, please make your way up to the podium. You're good. You're good.
Get out of the way in case I'm-
You never know. Okay, nothing online again for that, correct, Yasmina? Okay. Seeing none, we will close the public comment time. Council, questions, comments, concerns?
My only question is to clarify, we did the same thing for the Orchard Park that's over at Beach and Tulare,
You didn't do an amendment to a development agreement.
but they were asking to reduce, wasn't it similar to this?
I believe so, yes.
But that we haven't officially done it.
No.
No.
I think they were giving us just some insight where they
Because
wanted to
there's,
do.
well, the people left for that track anyway, didn't they? Or-
Yeah. I mean, regarding Orchard Park's tract, on the west side of Orchard Park, up in the northwest of the core area, or northeast rather, of the
Right.
core area. Yeah, it went a little silent. The point of contact for the home developer, left. It was quiet for a few months, and they've gotten back into contact with us with a new point of contact for that home developer, and we'll be engaging them here in the near future. But yeah, this is related to a totally different tract in the southern area, the core.
Right,
the
but it'll
all
be
fence homes.
similar in housing.
Correct.
Okay.
And again, I think it's a product of the market right now, how expensive homes are to build, and the mortgage rates, wanting to keep moving forward with developing homes, but reducing those sizes so that they become more affordable in this current environment.
1,600 makes sense. It really does. Phase 1 and phase 2, you have 107 homes noted on phase 1. I'm sorry, 107 homes noted for the track. Phase 1 seems to be completing the latter half of those homes versus phase 2. Is that just they don't really care? Is it based on the numbering system?
Well, you would do phase 1 first. In fact, I mean, we haven't even done the final map yet,
Oh,
where
okay,
they're
gotcha.
actually legal parcels. That's to occur. But I felt that we could move forward with the development agreement, get that in place
Gotcha.
while we work on finalizing, and we will bring forward the final maps for you to consider here in the near future.
I like it. Have they indicated when they want to start building?
They would like to start up again in the beginning of first quarter of next year. Again, what's really sort of stopped them is out of their control. It's obtaining the transformers necessary to provide power to the tract.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
One concern, well, there's multiple, but right for now, it's just the reason of the smaller size of the house the recommendation is because the cost too much to build a house.
I
currently.
think there was one that they have new products that they want to introduce, which was the smallest product was 1440, and by the development agreement, it was 1,600 minimum size for the homes under the current development agreement, and they have a new set of plans that they would like to introduce, and the smallest home of that new set is 1440. But yeah, a lot of it is still making it the price point that they would have had a few years ago, but under the current conditions, keeping that same price point, but that would require a reduction in size.
So the reason we're at this situation, because we're using the transformer as why we're at a stopping point, right, at the development there.
You know, maybe, I mean, I think he would have, the owner would have come up with this amendment, even if he had the transformer in place, even if he had to sort of slow down a little bit. Again, I think he's trying to balance affordability, and keep the tract moving forward.
Right, no, I agree on that, because it looks ugly the way Tulare's track that we've had there for years and years and years and gotten to different hands. And we see now some movement going on there. Now we have this other track that we were talking about and started pretty strong and then it died out. And now we find out it's because of transformer. So the changes that we make is something that the idea is we want houses, we need houses. You need affordable housing as well. And actually myself personally, I had an experience today. I'm trying to get my mom to come to Shafter. I can't find a place for her, you know, and it gets very annoying. You know, we have, you know, I've been here for years already. We're still in the same situation. Years. I don't comprehend why we're still locked in the situation we're in. Where all our surrounding cities are building homes like there's no tomorrow. So if this is what the solution, smaller homes, I mean, I have to agree. I mean, that's, you know, we need housing. Now, I just don't want it to become another excuse later on, looking for another transformer and come up more changes, you know, smaller housing. So that's just my opinion right now.
Okay.
So.
Well, I mean, what I can say is, I mean, the building, the owners that are building the homes, they got to react to the market. I do believe that they are, you know, trying to be mindful of affordability.
I see other cities are building Wasco, McFarland, Delano are building homes like there's no tomorrow.
Well, we're building homes like there's no tomorrow.
Well,
It's just not here in the
Grove
core.
we are, yes.
Yeah.
I get that.
Theoretically, at the growth rate we're experiencing, we are building homes faster than all other Kern County cities.
In Gossamer Grove, we are, yes. We're
But
not
the issue, correct, if you take 39 square miles and drop it down to Wasco's 9 square miles, it'll look the exact same, that we're building that crazy. It's just the space that we have. The 1,600 square foot, I don't think it's a price point from them saying, it's a lot to build. 1,600 square foot is really, they use that from a development side as great entry level and great for
We do a lot of
aging out.
extensions too. We've been doing a lot of extensions on lots. In the past, we've been extensions, time extensions, which is, for whatever reason, I guess, here we are. But we gotta get these people to start building, or something we gotta do something.
Well, again, I mean, you know, from a city's point of view, we don't build homes, we facilitate the development of homes. It's the builders that build homes when they're ready.
I understand that, but why is there building around us? That's, I don't understand. The other cities are building for whatever reason. And at the same time, when we want to develop the core city, businesses are not gonna come to a small little town. We need housing in order for big businesses to come to invest in us, so.
Understandable, duly noted.
Any other questions, comments, concerns, folks? Hearing none, I'm looking for a motion for approval.
I'll move to approve.
Needing a second, please.
I'll second.
Yeah, I already closed it. Yeah. You want me to close? I can close it again if I need to. Just want to make sure we're good. I have a motion by Councilmember Olvera, second by Councilmember Espinoza. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
Olvera,
Yes.
Espinoza,
Yes.
and Given.
Yes. Very good. That is our only public hearing item for the evening. Tonight on the docket, we have 5 management report items. We'll begin with the first one. Item number 1 is the civic engagement with Richland School District students.
Sir, Mayor and Council, let me just begin by saying that this is not just for Richland, so the title is a little misleading. It wasn't intentional, just a slight oversight. Because it also includes, I should say Shafter schools, local schools, because we are being inclusive of Shafter High School, Richland, and Grove. So this particular item here, I'm going to have Dr. Franz, our Education Director, make the presentation. But it's being brought to you from the ad hoc committee upon the city manager's recommendation to the ad hoc committee, to you, the full council. This is a practice, and David will describe more of what it entails. It was a practice that goes back several years ago that the city began doing as part of a civic engagement with the schools. At that particular time, it was Richland. Grove's not in existence, and I'm not sure about Shafter High School. But it entailed the student council from the school to participate and attend one of the council meetings. They would shadow you. That my understanding is they would actually sit up there in the dais with you. And then there was also a field trip that the city would sponsor of these student council students to travel to Sacramento, tour the Capitol, learn more about the state legislative process. The city would pick up the tab for the cost, the food, and I guess like a polo shirt, city shirt that we would give them. We don't have anything on record of which the city actually, you as a council approved that activity. And so my recommendation to the ad hoc committee, and that's why it's presented to you tonight, was that it come to the full council's recommendation from the ad hoc committee so that you formally approve the expenditure related to any travel and any attendance in Sacramento. So with that, I'll have David make the presentation.
Honorable Mayor, members of the Shafter City Council, City Manager Gonzalez outlined, this is a program that goes back probably more than a decade and was interrupted by the pandemic. This is a project that supports civic education and civic engagement for all students. And that is the public purpose of it. So it's not just a benefit for these individual students and does not represent a gift of public funds in a way. The only other items that I'd highlight are that the Shafter Student Council has 30 members, which is a lot and a lot more than the other schools. So in consultation with the administration at Shafter High, recommending selecting a subgroup of that, which consists of the president of the student body, the vice president of the student body, and then the 4 class presidents. So that would be 6 students. And the other thing that I would highlight is that in the past, we have taken a train to Sacramento. The train schedules have changed somewhat. And also with this number, it represents more of a challenge logistically of keeping that large of a group. So we've priced out what a charter bus would cost. And that's what's reflected in the pricing that's before you in the staff report. So with that, I'd be happy to try to answer any questions I can.
Just let me, if I may add, in terms of the fiscal impact, there's sufficient funding in the current budget. But more importantly is making the determination that this is not, the use of these funds is not a gift of public funds. As outlined in the staff report, the 2 determining factors is 1, that this is being made available for the participation of the local schools, all the local schools, Shafter High School, Richland, and Grove. And 2, it promotes the city of Shafter in good light, involving local students to participate in civic engagement. And so based on those 2 factors, staff made the determination to you that the use of these funds for this purpose is not a gift of public funds.
I have a quick question. So they would all go as a group, all 3 schools would come together and travel up to Sacramento, do the same thing that the Richland students were doing in the past. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I participated in one of those trips with my daughter. And I think that the train ride is an experience for a lot of students, like especially here in our community. I think a lot of them may not get to experience that in that way. And I thought that was kind of neat for the city to do that, to take them up there, and then being able to sit with legislatures and kind of have a good discussion and break it down to how they do their job and how these laws are passed and how they, do all these discussions on things like that was I think it was very informational to them, and they could relate and make that connection. I think it's a great idea to have all the schools participate. Would there be an option to have it as a group? Because obviously high school students are at a different level than our, junior high or Grow Academy students. And it wouldn't be the same type of presentations that our legislators would be prepared for, unless it's just going to be a tour of the Capitol where they're not really going to have that engagement as they were having before. That's just kind of the only thing that I can see would be different.
So you're suggesting two separate trips, one with the middle school students and then one with the high school?
I think that would be ideal, just because they're at different levels of understanding how, things work, and the presentations could be developed in a way that they could be able to absorb the information and understand what's going on. That would be my suggestion.
I have a question as far as how many of our students today are going on the Sacramento trip that do it automatically through the school? Do you know that?
I'm not aware of a Sacramento trip.
Doesn't our 8th graders go? The eighth graders already go to Sacramento.
And they go to the city.
No, it's separate.
I'm not aware. I don't know.
Because I don't want to see us duplicating if they're already going. That's my comment.
It wasn't brought to my attention when I mentioned this to the staff
Mhm.
there, but I didn't ask specifically about
We
it.
might check into that one only because we don't need to duplicate it. I know the schools have been taking students to places, more so.
Is it a Sacramento trip or a Washington trip? I think Grow does a Washington trip. Don't
I
they?
don't know. That's what I'm asking.
They just say they don't. Richmond does. I don't know about Greenville.
Yeah, the high school doesn't.
Everyone experiences something and we've always done a certain amount within our own council chambers. And if you want to talk about, Rotary has encouraged that in the vocational category. We haven't been involved in it, so to speak, but that is offered in service clubs too. So
Is this a day trip, overnight trip?
no, it's day.
Right. In the past, it's been a day trip.
Yeah.
I think that if we were to explore the rail option, because of the way the schedules have changed, it probably would make more sense to do it as an overnight trip because the turnaround would be really fast. But yeah, it's always been a day trip.
Okay.
I think the exposure even for a day trip is worth it. I don't see that difference, but
I know Maple takes the eighth graders to Sacramento.
yeah, see, and I didn't know if the others have been, and eighth grade does it at all. Yeah, that was my only question. And when you say local schools, Maple's really a lot of Shafter too. And that might happen in the future too. I don't know if we're planning on something now, but we've always been supported back and forth with Maple.
Some of them might go to that
No,
school
hey,
8 miles up the
we've had
north.
some connection with them and they know they're coming here. Well, the advantage, because there's a lot of Shafter kids that go to those schools. You're right.
Yeah.
That's why I say local is those two country schools are with us.
And I believe the ad hoc committee, Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor and Council, discussed that. And to Councilmember Alvarado's like, at what point do
Yeah.
they stop? Right. And I think
Exactly.
for starters, the ad hoc committee is recommending the three, Grow, Richland and Shafter High School. Councilmember Alvaro, to your comment about
Age.
the day trip and the age, I think that's a valid point. When David was looking at the scheduling for the rail, for the train for Amtrak, that's what he's talking about, that due to the scheduling, it would be a very tight timeline. We've all been in Sacramento and we know how slow things can move at times and it's not as quick. And so in order for the children to really, the students to get the full experience, we wouldn't be able to meet the turnaround time to be able to come back the same day. And that's what David's talking about. That would require overnight stay. There's concerns to address when you got overnight stay. Chaperone, you gotta make sure there's enough and then the cost goes up. And that's why when David brought it to my attention and we looked at chartering a bus, you're able to keep all the students together, less chaperone, be able to get them up there all on the one day. You then control your turnaround time, even if you get back a little bit late. And so that's what we were proposing. And we looked at the chartering of a bus to be able to take everybody up there and not be constrained to the time limit.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if the train is not, the schedule doesn't allow for it, but I still think that the combining of high school students with junior high, or does Grow have junior high students already? Because I know that
They do. So you're talking about two of the junior high, so you have the two eighth grade groups, if you will, and then the high school group.
correct.
I can flip that and tell you if done correctly, and knowing Dr. Franz here, who will be participating in this, if done correctly, you're getting the high school students and the adults, if you will, to help mentor even some of the younger ones. So having that opportunity for them to know what it's like from that older perspective, maybe intrinsic benefit altogether.
Yeah, at the same time too, it all depends on the age level, what they've learned already. I think they're both graders already in whatever class they're in, the questions that they're asking may not relate to junior high, but they're so taught. They want to do Now, back to when we first started all this, David and I would drive our van, drive the city vehicle up to Sacramento and come back to San Diego.
We used to drive with parents. We did. It's, yeah, but it would be probably yet beyond wanting to drive, but I drove a group to Sacramento once. With the sixth grade class even.
But this is something that the city has been anticipating.
Right.
But that's how it all started. Dave and I would drive a van in the car.
Mhm.
Up to Sacramento, early morning, come back. That's it. And no hard. Try to Amtrak. I think it worked out. It's a full day, but it worked out.
I don't know that you need to be so concerned about the age level. I think the older ones that are gonna go are like you say, gonna mentor or be right next to them. And you can even mention it to some of the legislators up there and they could address the older age at the same time. Or, you know, just put them in another room or something. I mean, I wouldn't do two separate trips.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I know, that a senior, you know, and an eighth grader is not the same.
No.
You know,
But they can
they're
make
at different levels, and if you're gonna
They
talk
can
to
make-
legislators, you know, they're gonna want to deliver a message to that senior or that junior or that sophomore that's in high school, to either one, you know, motivate them to continue on that road. Where, you know, at a junior high level, it's a little bit of a different presentation. It's not the same type of communication that you would do. That's my only take with that, so.
Thank
But if you do two different presentations, well, then obviously that resolves that situation, so.
I think, yeah, no, I appreciate the point, Councilmember Olvera. And I think that having been there, you remember that it's a fairly small space in a lot of those meetings. So it
Exactly.
makes sense
Why
in
does
any
it go
case
Yes.
to divide the groups,
9 is not.
and then they could come back together and get on the floor or
Correct.
whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, we sat there and they brought in, I think, if I remember correctly,
Like small-
they brought like dessert and pastries for the students. And as they were communicating with them and talking to them about how a law is, you know, being created, you know, things of that nature, it becomes more of a personal, you know, communication there, where they're actually connecting with them and bringing it down, and they're asking questions, they're bringing it down to their level. That's what I experienced and that's what I saw. And I thought that was great. So.
All right, folks. At that, I'm looking for a motion. If no other questions.
So I'm trying just to, for clarification, do you want us to research to look into splitting the high school?
And the
or
research
you
as to what?
To research and splitting the group? I mean, there's been some discussion. I just want to get clarification.
Oh, I think you
on
can
what
do that with included in here.
Included, go
Well,
as
yeah,
one
all you
group.
need to do is see if they'll have some speakers that'll talk differently to the high school kids. Or you want to drop them completely? Is that what we want to do?
No, not drop them, create two groups.
Two different, so like Monday,
No.
junior high, and then they've turned around on Tuesday is high school.
I think you can do them all at one time.
I say you can do.
Okay, so with that, I'm gonna look, let's start with,
Well,
the-
then research it.
wait.
Go ask them.
Well,
You guys are
if
killing me
I
now.
may,
You guys are killing me.
I think that I could talk with the high school advisor in particular.
Yes,
And whatever presentation is given at Sacramento, the transportation could be shared. If the issue is really about the presentation, I think that's much easier to solve.
yes.
While doing
Yeah.
the same trip, we can share the cost of the transportation and then just divide if necessary once we're in Sacramento.
Mhm.
I think that sounds good.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the basics here. I'm gonna look for a motion as read. If for some reason we don't like what as read, then we can talk about it. So I'm needing a motion and a second as read.
I'll move that.
I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Prout. Do I have a second?
But it's gonna cover, right? Whatever decision you take.
So the decision would be to cover I'm just gonna round up, make life easy. The 26 people, $5,400 bus trip, headed to Sacramento. The presentations, that can be handled after the fact. but
Yeah.
the motion on the table is for the 5,400 for 26 people.
Second.
All right. I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Prout, second by Councilmember Alvarado. Sorry, sir. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado?
So how would that other part be where they normally would come up here? Would that be just different dates, scheduled different times, right?
Well, you couldn't sit them all up here at one time.
Well,
so-
that's
That,
obvious.
that
I wanna
one,
make
that one
sure.
we can do individually,
Yeah.
arrange
Okay.
that with Grow
Yeah,
individually on one
right.
day.
Just wanna make
and so on
sure,
and so forth.
okay,
Because we only have so many meetings for, if it's gonna happen this year, we tentatively only have 3 meetings.
okay.
Well, they go school year.
That's what I'm saying, and we're trying
So
to get,
they
but we
have
can
so they
change
have
them out
until, like,
different
May.
meetings.
May or
Yeah.
June.
Yeah, they're good.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
Prout,
Yes.
Olvera.
Yes.
Espinoza
Yes.
and Givens.
Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Franz, for working with our confusion on our end. So thank you. Item number 2 on management report is the authorization of the purchase of library outreach vehicle from Tech Ops Specialty Vehicles in the amount of $226,900.
So, Mr. Mayor and Council, as you know, as part of the ARPA monies that we received, the American Rescue funds that we received as part of the pandemic funding that the federal government released to cities. One of the projects that we identified that falls within the criteria of the eligibility to spend the funding was a mobile library, so that we can go out on the road and expand our library services that would be able to target certain pockets of the community to provide those library services. And so we're ready to move forward with that. And so I'm gonna have Dr. Franz give the staff report on the next steps to acquire the vehicle itself. David?
Thank you. Honorable Mayor, members of the Shafter City Council. On March 7th this year, the City Council approved ARPA Phase 2 funds allocating $250,000 for a library outreach vehicle. I believe when we discussed this last, I'd mentioned the possibility of an electric van. Having talked with vendors and other libraries about that, that proved to be, it was not recommended to me. The batteries end up taking up a lot of the storage space, and after discussions with people in the industry, determined that a diesel Mercedes Sprinter was the preferred vehicle, and submitted and put together a bid package. We received 2 bids, one from Farber Specialty Vehicles, which came in at $276,950, and then the bid that staff is recommending, which was Tech Ops Specialty Vehicles at $226,898. TSOV is the acronym that they go by. TSOV provided the lowest and most responsive bid within the budgeted amount, and has a strong history of doing this work, of retrofitting vehicles for library projects, including several in California. And the proposed bid is to deliver the vehicle in Q2 in the second quarter of 2024. I'll also add that we have begun plans and procedures for how this vehicle will be used as part of the operation. That's something that Ariel Dyer was charged with developing some plans and procedures and doing research on other library vehicles over the summer. And so we have some draft plans for that, including a plan for weekly stops at La Colonia, at Veterans Park and Smith's Corner. And so the idea is that at those sites, which are not readily accessible to our library, people will be able to request books, pick them up, and then turn them in without ever having to, take a dial-a-ride into the branch or make the long walk. So that's kind of the core function of this vehicle. But in addition to that, we're anticipating it's going to be an eye-catching promotional vehicle at our outreach events, at events around the city. So I believe in the attachments to the staff report, there are some images. These are of vans that were produced by Tech Ops. And we have some in the bid, some money for a graphics package and a wrap around the van to make sure it looks nice and represents our city and our library well. And I believe with that, I'll open it up to any questions.
Very good. Any questions, comments, concerns? The images are great, by the way.
The van or the van that you once purchased, and you paint it, what is it gonna be like, more like books type of a bus looking?
How will it look?
Yeah,
So that's to be determined.
oh, okay,
I think my initial comment would be that we would probably try to make it match the existing branding that the library has, our website.
okay.
I have a feeling that it would, we would probably try to use some of the mural images that we have,
Okay, as long as it's not people that, I mean,
not recognizable people.
okay,
Right.
thank you.
What's the range of the vehicle? So is it just the Shafter area, Smith Corners?
You mean not like the literal range of how far it could go, but how far we plan on
And how
using it?
far you plan on using it?
Right, so I would say the regular circuit would be the immediate outlying areas around the core, so the Smith's Corner, La Colonia. It would probably be used, we currently do outreach events, and so those are at the school, at the Catholic church, the trunk or treats, these kinds of things. I don't know, we might dominate the space a little bit with the trunk or treats, but those are sort of the two uses that I'm envisioning, is the regular route around the outlying areas around the core, and then any outreach event that we're invited to, we would want to bring it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You would see, you'd learn what the need is as you go along. Yeah, people would ask you.
People want to see the.
That's
van.
right. Mhm.
Councilmember Espinoza, at some of our events, we'll have a pop-up canopy and a table and our staff will be there. This will basically replace that. So any event, community event, we'll roll out the van and this will be more interactive. We'll be able to have more books and they'll actually be able to check out books and so forth. So it'll be more interactive, but it'll basically replace the canopy and table that we usually set up at all these community events.
First Fridays.
I know.
Yeah, First Fridays,
mile.
Wings,
Just all around.
Wings and Wheels, right? I think you go out there too, so.
You see some really cool stuff out there. I love it. Again, I go back, I see these photos. I think they're great.
Well, just remember, we are an award-winning Helen Putnam.
Yeah, no, that
Recipients.
is definitely getting put on the van, no matter what.
Title's gotta be on there.
We can't roll out in a canopy and a
I
table.
love it. Okay,
I have a feeling that whatever branding is that seal is probably going to be there.
absolutely. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, I'm looking for a motion in a second, please.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion by Councilmember Olvera, second by Councilmember Espinoza. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes,
Prout,
Yes.
Olvera,
Yes.
Espinoza,
Yes.
and Gibbon.
Yes, very good. Moving on to item number 3 is the award plan check services contracts to plan checking services. City Manager?
Sorry, Mayor and Council, just a brief introduction as a means to be proactive and efficient in the manner that we process plans. Our Public Works Director has come up working with the staff to have on-call engineering firms to be able to call upon as the workload dictates. And so with that, I'll have our Public Works Director make the presentation on the item.
Yes, Honorable Mayor, members of the Shafter City Council, the current fiscal year budget is funded to contract out plan checking of improvement plans prepared for developers. The use of the contracted engineers will ensure that plans are processed in a timely manner and will free up the city engineers' time to work on other critical tasks. So Public Works conducted a request for proposals for outside engineers to provide the requested plan check services. It resulted in 6 proposals being submitted. These proposals were later ranked based on qualifications and relevant experience. Realistically, though, given the amount of assistance needed by Public Works in the short term and to avoid potential conflicts of interest, some of these engineers have working on local projects. We're anticipating that multiple firms would end up getting plan check services awarded to them. The priority in which the contracts would be awarded would be based on the ranking provided in your staff report. We're forecasting $50,000 in work altogether for the remainder of the fiscal year, and the engineering budget is funded to cover this amount. So upon council approval, the first of the professional service contracts could be awarded as early as this week. And all of the work that's awarded will be supervised closely by the incoming city engineer. So with that, Public Works is requesting authorization to proceed with the contract awards for plan check services, not to exceed 50,000.
Okay, very good. Questions, comments, or concerns, council? Okay. I am hearing none, so I'm hoping that's good things. I need a motion and an approval, please.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Alvarado, second by Councilmember Espinoza. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
Olvera,
Yes.
Espinoza,
Yes.
and Givens.
Yes. Very nice. Item number 4, authorize the notice of award to Ken W. Smith Construction Incorporated for the City Hall Security Improvements and Renovation Project in an amount up to $200,000. City
So-
Manager?
Certainly, Mayor and Council, just to be for brief introduction before I hand it off to our Deputy Public Works Director, Alex Gonzalez, who will provide more of the technical staff report on the bidding process and then what the proposed renovations entail. So a little bit of way of background, this project is being proposed to be funded utilizing ARPA funds. As you know, we have in the past had several instances of security breaches at both city services and here in the front office of the city manager's office. What I mean by security breaches is we've had some individuals, thank God, not gotten violent, but gotten aggressive with our staff and have even come into the office area where our staff sits. As a result, we've had in those instances, PD did respond, took the individual away, but added security concern for our employees and to enhance the security measures that here at City Services and City Hall, we're proposing to renovate the counter areas at both City Services and here at the City Manager's office. You'll see in the layouts that Alex will explain. Currently, right now, it's an open floor plan. If you go to City Services, there's really no barriers, there's no doors. Someone can just walk in and go into the back offices. Here at City Halls, you can see we put up a little chain link fence, which really doesn't do
It's
anything.
not even a fence.
Right. It's one of those things that hopefully people respect, right? But otherwise, there's really no security measures that are suitable for what we need to make sure that there's not a breach of that. So that's the background as to why these two renovations are proposed for city services and here at the main city hall office and the city manager's office is to enhance the security area and more so for the protection of our staff. So with that, I'm now going to hand it off to our Deputy Public Works Director who can provide a staff report again on the process and the proposed renovations. Alex?
Honorable Mayor, members of the Shafter City Council. So yes, Public Works, we did work with a licensed architect to kind of develop the, implementation plans for both the city services and the city manager workspaces. We did take input obviously from City Hall staff as well as directors for, space needed and, security concerns that were already addressed. So again, the intent of the plans was kind of to optimize the workspace for current and future employees and also enhance the security. So we're kind of doing two things at one time, and you'll see that when we explain some of the areas. So due to the urgency for the improvements, Public Works was directed to expedite bidding through informal procedures. So we went through that process. We reached out to 5 qualified contractors to submit bids for the improvements. We ended up only getting one bid from Ken W. Smith Construction in the amount of $180,224. They haven't worked on any projects for us at the city, but they are qualified to complete the work and have some other projects of a similar nature that they have completed. If awarded, the work would likely occur towards the end of the year or beginning of next calendar year. So a recommended budget to cover the bid plus contingencies is $200,000 as indicated in the staff report. There are already all ARPA funds committed to the project and, a little over $300,000. So there is no budget action required tonight for this project to move forward. So we are recommending moving forward with the project so that, we can get going on the improvements. And so at this point, I'd like to kind of direct your attention to either your screens or the TV that's there, and we'll kind of go through both location. I'll highlight some of the major components, and then I'd be happy to take questions on them. So starting first with the city services plan. As you can see on the left-hand side, that's kind of the existing layout and the demo plan. And as indicated, there's a lot of kind of open space there. Kind of a counter that's has maybe a small barrier to it, but really the intent here is obviously, like we talked about, security improvements, but also, as you'll see in the proposed layout space, creating another office space and to allow more staff to kind of utilize that space in a more efficient manner. So we will be taking out the counter, kind of the little wall that's there, and putting back, as you'll see on the right-hand side, kind of a more formal office that's building walls. And then there's open office space there that can house maybe 1 or 2 different staff members in that area. They'll be putting in a new counter that kind of decreases the waiting area there, but will allow kind of a larger area to lay out plans. So if building department or planning department needs to come talk to people at the counter, there'll be a space there to lay it out. Currently in the office in the right-hand side, that's where our city services kind of administrative staff sit. There's already a window that's there for public interaction, and that will continue to be there. They're going to kind of take that window down, rebuild a counter in that area that's a little bit easier to work with. The one that's currently there is a little bit too low. And that'll be the primary access for the public to come in and address the administrative staff there. So that's kind of the general overview that's going on there. And before we move to the next location, I'd be happy to take any questions on this area.
Yes, Alex, it's just right here next door, right?
Yes, so that's that area.
So in that waiting area where it says waiting, is that gonna, I know there's not a lot of traffic, but when there is traffic, is there enough room to wait, or people will be escorted to the office or a conference room or something?
It probably depends on the nature of what they're waiting for. You know, if they're there for city services, a lot of it is, you know, either addressing building department or planning. And as you can see there, the amount of space that's actually being reduced isn't that much because it's a narrow area that's, you know, currently extended there.
Because
So
as soon as you open the double doors, you walk in and you're pretty much right there.
yeah,
You don't
You're-
have that much room, but if someone that has plans wants to do some kind of, I don't know if that's the place to do that, but I've seen in the past where people have plans spread out and it takes the whole counter, that narrow area there that you're talking about. That's gonna be eliminated now. So I'm just, you know, I just not to could come back later and have to do something else, another adjustment after we did adjustments. You know, like that new window we put there where it was that one window, now you mentioned you're gonna take it out. You know, how much that costs us just to put that in the first time.
well, a little bit on the window, we will actually be reutilizing it, just raising it up a little bit,
Okay.
kind of making it a little bit more functional in that location. As far as addressing the space issue, you know, we're kind of working with the area that we have. And I think if it does come to the point where the conversation between, you know, whoever is at the counter and the public becomes kind of a longer conversation or needs to take up more time and more space, then, you know, there's always the option of potentially moving to a conference room or something like that.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
What Gilbert's saying, which is a true statement,
Yeah.
is this whole thing gets utilized for me. So you are kind of taking that piece
Right.
away. I get it. It all depends on the,
Cause that little small, if you walk in there, 3-4 people in there, you're done.
it does. You're gonna hate me for saying this, but I'm gonna say it. The flip side is if we're submitting plans and documents online ahead of time, you probably can cancel out about 50% of the people who walk in there because you're doing most of that submittal process online.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, but I'm just saying, I don't wanna find out later on, we have to add a room or waiting, that's all.
Yeah, to Mayor and Council, just, I mean, the reality is we have very limited real estate to work with.
Right.
That's why we brought on, an architectural firm to help and assist to try to maximize the limited space that we do have to the best results. To Alex's point, if it does require and it's a more lengthy discussion to review plans for whatnot, we do have the conference room. It's been utilized in the past. I'll make an appointment and bring on back over there. Mayor Givens is correct about electronic plans. We are looking to go out to bid for a land management system after the first of the year. So it's very likely that sometime next year we'll be deploying electronic plans, and show that will cut down the amount of foot traffic, because the foot traffic we do get is oftentimes more for over the counter stuff. quick plan checks. And so I think it's one of those things that we're just gonna have to roll it out and then adjust as we go. But the reality is that we have very limited space in City Hall altogether. The objective here too is to create a one-stop shop center by consolidating planning and building. Currently, our planning staff sits all the way on the other side of City Hall, and so whenever they have to do customer services, they get called and they have to walk all the way back over there. So that office that's proposed in the renovations would be for the planning manager, and then he needs to talk to the person. They can bring him into the office and have a conversation with them. That's also the option. But we believe that it'd be more efficient, more effective by having a one-stop shop. Everybody, my planners and building staff in one area, because then that way the customer service will hopefully improve in that regard. But the reality is we are working with very limited space and trying to maximize the area to be able to still provide adequate customer service efficiently and effectively, trying to make that experience for the customer as streamlined as possible so that they're able to talk to a planner and building staff all at once instead of one at a time.
Didn't we also reduce some of the traffic here anyway because we were sending them out to Public Works?
Yes.
Yeah, so see, that's reduced.
The encroachment permits, right away, that sort of thing, they go over to Public Works to get that correct. Mhm. And some of that they can do online, get the
Yeah,
form
yeah,
online
it
and
has been.
submit it and then, yeah.
You guys are experts. All right, we'll go on.
Yeah, I understand your questioning
Yeah.
because I've.
No, it's a valid question.
Over there, but we'll try to.
Agree.
Any other thoughts, comments, questions on city services area before we move on to the next one? Yes.
The new counter that you're putting in, it's gonna have a window and everything that's gonna be sealed, right? So no,
So currently, there will be a window as there currently is for the office, kind of in the top left-hand corner for the administrative staff. There is not a proposed window between the waiting area and the office, or kind of at the service counter. And part of that is for having a space to lay out plans so that you can interact with the building department and or planning department there. With the, window in the way, it makes it very difficult to have conversations like that. So there isn't one planned in that location.
but I thought that you were trying to keep it from being so open to let people just be able to, so
There's
it's gonna
no,
be a counter.
there's no pony wall door there,
No,
correct?
there's no pony wall or door there. So, for them to come in, they'd have to go over the counter to do it. But you don't there's no one actually sitting there most of the time. That's only utilized if somebody needs to, address one of the other staff members. It's, not the administrative staff.
You know that little door they have right now, the one I just kind of reach over and.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Keeps the honest people out.
Sir. Any additional comments? If not, we'll move on to the next area. So,
Right there.
Oh, it's on there.
oh,
All right,
okay.
good deal.
We're saving trees, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, no,
So this is the city manager reception area, and you can see again on the left-hand side, it's kind of the existing layout and plan, what's planned to be demoed, and then on the right-hand side is kind of the proposed layout for, or the new layout. And what you'll see is you'll notice that the two existing kind of desks there, the goal is to remove both of them. One of them hasn't been utilized for a while. Kind of the key feature here that you'll see is the building of a new wall and addition of a door. And you see that where it says waiting area, right along that kind of vertical plane there where the wall sticks out. That's where a kind of desk and counter with a window is going to be. And then a door with a key card access to get in and out there. So, it will prohibit the public from just entering there without having authorized access through it. Again, the reception area will have that kind of glass barrier from the public. So, it adds a level of security there. And it creates kind of a more formal waiting area than what we have now. There actually might be just a little bit more space as well, because obviously we're getting rid of kind of that one desk that's tucked in the corner. That's kind of the highlights for that area. I'd be happy to take questions on this one.
I don't see the C train, so the C train gone?
The C train is not a part of this project. But I could take comments on that as well if you'd like.
See what you did there? That was good.
Yes.
Are there any plans on the west side? Because if you go through the main entrance and make a right, instead of making a left to come over to this area, you just walk right into the back door and go right along the back hallways. Are there gonna be any keyways or any entries going that way?
It's really valid.
Oh, the door that it's unmanned right now?
The chain
Like over there by Steve.
stopping everybody? Yeah, that one.
No, I'm talking
Where
even
Bob is,
further.
where Bob used to
over
sit.
by
Yeah.
Steve's
Oh,
door.
that door.
direction.
The back,
Um,
that's the best.
Well, we are gonna be replacing the entry doors to comply with ADA, the two front doors. We may look at, since we have some monies left over, we budgeted approximately 300,000 for. We are gonna be replacing the front doors to comply with ADA to the automatic doors. We can look at making some modifications or maybe a change order to maybe put a key lock, because it's a glass door right now. Is change it out to a solid door with a key lock to improve the security there. That's a good point.
Valid point.
Yeah, that's always been a concern, but we may be able to just do it under this project as a change order.
It's almost necessary.
Yeah, at this point it is. I would agree.
I just wondered that waiting area, if we couldn't have utilized some space there for an employee. Cause I know I don't know if it was probably before you came, we even had desks as you come in the back door. Just to utilize, space in that entry area.
So that entry area of where of what I'm understanding you describe is the trailer, door,
Yes.
that's gonna remain. So we would still be able to, if we ever needed an extra desk for an
Might have
intern or something
for
like that,
short term.
we could put a
But
desk there.
you wouldn't necessarily want to use it there in that waiting area that's in the.
Yeah, we want to still have a waiting area because we do have people come in, especially when we're doing interviews.
interviews, I know.
HR uses the conference room and we'll have people sit out there. And
So you
so,
need that much space.
right, so we're basically consolidating the two existing work areas into the one in the new reception area. Because there's enough space to be able to put two people back to back in the new reception area for them to work. And just by way of background, Mayor and Council, this particular area is the one we've had more of the security breaches, where we've actually had people come into the waiting area, the reception area, and almost started going down the hallway, where city, staff is at. And so this is really where we were looking to kind of enhance more so the security on that
Yeah.
area.
Good plan.
And I can tell you that it was done with the consultation of city staff, from our staff that actually sits there, and the ones that have had to deal with some of the security breaches. Their input was taken into consideration when this was developed.
Yeah, so, I mean, just for me to make sure I'm clear, if you go past the finance window to where Bob's office is, that area right there is not gonna have a coded door to get into to come in.
We can now, being that where there's funding available, we can do it as a change order. The contractors, that's something that they're already gonna be doing for us.
The reason being that if you're gonna make arrangements to go ahead and do this one here to where you don't have free access to come in, do that one and not have free access to come in, there's that back door by Bob's old office.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
so I just wanted to bring that up.
We'll talk to the contract, Alex and Tom, maybe do it as a change order and make that change.
I know, Rogers door and the finance stores.
They're all locked.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
Appreciate the comment, Councilmember Espinoza.
Any other questions or comments?
Questions, comments, concerns, council?
I like that you're ready for him, Alex. I like that.
Let's go.
Thank you.
If no other questions, comments, concerns, I am looking for a motion to approve in a second, please.
I move.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Proud, a second by Councilmember Espinoza. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
Olvera.
Yes.
Espinoza,
Yes.
and Givens.
Yes. On to our last management report for the evening. Item number 5, award revised water meter service fittings purchase to Ferguson Water Works in the amount of $151,200. City Manager?
Yeah, sir, Mayor and Council, just a brief introduction is that this is the continued work for our water replacement project. And with that, our other Deputy Public Works Director of Operations, Marco Torres, will make the presentation. Marcos?
Good evening, Mayor, and members of the Chapter City Council. Council previously authorized the purchase of fittings for water service replacements during its September fifth meeting. During the time of the order, Public Works learned that the low bid supplier had submitted their proposal without our preferred fitting. So rather than trying to salvage the original bid process and award it to the second bidder, Public Works opted to conduct a new bid process to ensure that the cost comparison for the specified fittings were accurate. So on October 13th, our second bid process was completed. Ferguson Waterworks submitted the best pricing at $151,198.98 and has the shortest lead times. In order to proceed with the purchase, it is recommended that the council reject bids submitted through the first process and award the purchase to Ferguson Waterworks based on their competitive pricing and availability. Completing this purchase will enable us to allow contracted crews or city crews to upgrade approximately 900 water service connections and help us ensure that we meet the state mandate of water meter installs by January 1st of 2025. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I have a question for Marco, sir. So if we're having to reject do we need to reject the previous bid? So is there something we need to say differently than what we're seeing here? Because that's not noted in the readout, unless I'm missing it. Oh, thank you. Rescind previously approved proposal from Core and Main. So we're just rescinding the previously approved proposal. Okay, I just needed to make sure that I understood that correctly. Thank you. Yeah, otherwise I'm good on questions. Any other questions, council?
It's just too bad that Ferguson's not in the city limits next to me, Junkin or Bakersfield Pike.
Hang in there.
Never know in the future.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll
hearing,
make the motion.
Marcos, how far does this take us to completing this project? And
So basically with this purchase, along with the meters we purchased, or we placed an order for about a month ago, this would take us to compliance. So
okay,
there's about 900 left to
okay.
go.
And then the deadline, we're okay with the deadline to
Yep.
get that job completed?
Yep, I'm hoping we get all the parts in by, say, spring of 24 and hopefully go out to bid sometime in 1st of July, and we should be completed by the end of the year.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
okay, I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Proud, a second by Councilmember Alvarado. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
Olvera,
Yes.
Espinoza,
Yeah,
and Given.
Yes, those are all of our management report items for the evening. Moving on to our city manager comments and reports, sir.
So, Mayor and Council, just three brief items. One, I had a conversation with Garth Hernandez, Garth from High Speed Rail Authority. We had previously requested a meeting with them to get an update, as you know, and it was well published. They did receive federal funding to continue the construction from Shafter into Bakersfield. They are in design for that segment. Our engineering staff, our public works staff has been in discussions with them and been part of that process. However, this is more related to how they plan to move forward with the 200,000 with construction timeline on and so forth. I've been contacted by several businesses and property owners along the alignment that is within the right of way in terms of, hey, when's High Speed Rail going to want to buy my property or what that process is going to look like. So I had a conversation with the director this afternoon. He anticipates that they'll be ready to come out to Shafter and meet with the city officials and also do some community workshops on what the process is going to look like. Garth and his team are right now laying that timeline and that schedule and what the next steps will be. So I just want to give you a quick update that sometime after the first of the year, they'll be reaching out for us to meet with us, and then we'll help him and High Speed Rail facilitate some community workshops so that they are the ones informing the property owners and community what those impacts will be and what the right of way process will look like. And he did offer that, and I'll send you, council, their contact information, because he said in the meantime, if anybody has questions related to that, we can give them not his personal contact information, but High Speed Rail's information, which we know where that goes. But I think it'll be more productive after the first of the year when we do meet with them and they have a more concrete timeline. Our new economic development analyst and I attended ICSC, the International Conference of Shopping Centers, a little over a week ago. Another great conference. This was a follow-up to the Las Vegas ICSC conference. And still a lot of learning lessons. This is only our second time, our first time attending San Diego. This is the Western Region Conference. A little bit smaller, a lot smaller than Las Vegas, less walking. Everything was all in with just the convention center. We learned a lot. We got some leads for smaller businesses looking to come out of the Southern California area. And so we are working on following up on some of those leads. Our analyst is already doing a lot of the data collection, the data mining, based on what some of these businesses are looking on for in terms of site, in terms of whether it's an intersection, anchor tenants, that sort of thing. And so it was a very productive. We're going to be sitting down with some of our local developers that we have already approached us, that have plans to bring in to develop their property, to see what kind of businesses they may be looking for, and then develop data profile around their proposed shopping centers and areas. So we'll be sitting down, meeting with them as well on that. And then just to follow up on the economic development, I attended a Institute of Local Government webinar today on economic development and what's happening in that world with regards to the Surplus Land Act and in financing and revenue and so forth. And we received a shout out from one of the consultants because this was based more on suburban areas, Southern California. One of the city participating is a Southern California city, and obviously they're a lot different than rural. And there was one of the questions of, well, what can rural cities do in terms of economic development? And without saying our name, but I was attending, I knew which city they were referring to. We were recognized. There was a shout out given to us that, hey, well, there's a city in the Central Valley that's been very proactive with economic development, with branding, attending ICSC, doing data mining on and so forth. So it's kind of cool that already out there in the ED world, we're being recognized as a leader for rural cities in the Central Valley and leading the charge of economic development. So it was kind of cool. And then that's all I have. I do have our community engagement manager, Rachel, to give you a quick update on our branding process and some upcoming activities that are going to take place. So with that, Rachel.
This room is too small. Noticing that.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. Just a quick update on our branding project that we had almost a month ago, that our Nashville folks were here to see us. Just some information. They spoke to about 100 folks in the span of 3 days. So it was pretty busy, but very productive. I do want to relay the message from Chandler Thinks that they said out of all the projects that they've done with branding, the city of Shafter has been the most organized and had the most attended people come to either the interviews or focus groups.
Nice.
So that was really good news to hear. Next steps is they're going to be conducting 2 quantitative surveys. One is going to be going out to our local residents. It's going to be similar to the questions that you guys were asked in your one-on-one interviews. And then the second one is going to be a attitude, awareness, and perception survey. And that one's going to be going out to our surrounding community. So as far as 75 miles out. And I believe they mentioned that to you guys when you guys met. But what they're going to try to get and gather there is understand what those communities think about Shafter. So those are going to be the next steps. I'm thinking that survey will probably be going out within the next couple of weeks after we review it. And they plan to come back out in January or early February to give us a report based on all the information that they have gathered so far. So with that, if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, I
that's
think the main,
Update.
the main takeaway is just that these surveys are going out. And in case you're wondering, and you get contacted from somebody outside the area, say, hey, why am I getting a survey about Shafter? That's the reason why. And so we want to make you aware of that. They were going out and the reason why they're going out.
I'm still excited that we're doing it. Still very excited that we're doing it.
Very cool.
There's a really nice little momentum shift that I think we were starting to feel over the course of the last, month or so. And I feel like they kind of pushed some of that too, to make you think differently about who we are and what we're doing and where we're headed to. So it's just really, really cool.
And did you want me to report on, you said other activities?
You have like
Oh.
20 things that you emailed us about today.
I know, and I forgot one. I'll send you
See what
another
I mean?
updated
No,
email.
go ahead.
So we have, just real quick, the Christmasing and tree lighting scheduled for the 4th. So that was on your guys' email. We will be sending out a flyer, soon for you guys. We're gonna do it a little bit different. But also just an FYI, we don't have garland planned for across, but we do have a different concept for decor this year. So we hope that once you guys see it, you'll like it, for the tree. So, but that's all I have and we'll have more information for you guys on that event. So Monday, December 4th, 5 to 7.
5 to 7,
5%.
Yes,
downtown plaza.
downtown plaza.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Rachel. With that, Mayor, nothing further.
Okay.
Thank you.
I feel like you get nervous when you come up to the microphone. I don't know why. With that,
Waiting for that laugh.
yeah.
That's what I was waiting for.
With that said, we are going to go into recess. We have 2 items on closed session tonight: conference with labor negotiators for the non-represented employees and public employee performance evaluation. With that, I need a motion and second to move into recess.
I motion.
All those in favor with aye,
Aye.
same sign opposed. Hearing none, we're going to move into recess at 7:45 PM. Did you second? Yeah. I didn't get to it fast enough. Okay, let's roll. Yep. Okay, we are back from closed session. It's 9:53. And I'm going to look to our city attorney to lead us out, please.
Thank you, Mayor. As you mentioned earlier tonight, City Council recessed in a closed session. There were two items on the agenda, conference with labor negotiators concerning the group listed on the agenda. City Council heard presentation from its negotiating team on that matter, and we have no reportable action. There was also public employee performance evaluation of the city manager. Council provided comments to the manager, heard from the manager, and we have no reportable action.
Very good. With that being said, nothing else on the docket for the evening. I'm going to look for a motion of dismissal.
I'll make a motion.
Need a second, please.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilmember Espinoza, second by Councilmember Olvera. All those in favor with aye.
Aye.
Same sign opposed. Hearing none, dismissed at 9:54 PM.